Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. It's been a minute. I don't even remember the last time I did a live stream. It's probably been, well, over a month. I've been saying that I'm going to do one, then, something always crops up. Even now, just as I was about to go live, something cropped up. But, we are here. And then because we share the StreamYard is the platform we use to, record and go live. We share it, me, Anthony from Inter Worldwide, Mo. If you don't know about Mo, he's jumped over the Premier League side of things. But so it's us three of us. And actually, I think Mo collaborates with another guy. So it's four of us that share it. And then the settings and stuff, Mo always changes the settings to like some next stuff because he uses some extra things on top, and I always have to like spend 5 minutes afterwards changing all the settings. But anyway, we are here to talk about our beloved Internazionale. Maybe we'll get to talk about some other Serie A teams. But first of all, guys, as Armenian Interista says, leave a thumbs up. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. But I've missed you guys, Julian. I've missed it's the same. Palm, how are you doing, brother? Make sure you check out Calcio Charcha, the boys from India making Serie A known around the world. Well, mainly India, but around the world. Just make sure you check them out. But how you guys been, man? Let's have a little bit of a catch up because it's been a while. It's been a while since we got that beautiful Seconda Stella, that number 20th. We haven't really got to catch up too much, but we got to enjoy and celebrate together, which I'm glad that we did, and I hope you still are. Because even when the season starts, I'm still going to continue celebrating however we start, because you never know what happens in football. And the 20th, as you know, they say in Italian, this 20th one, sulla faccia, we won it in their face. It's historic the way we won it in that derby. Me at Inter Club London, I'm gonna remember that forever. But anyway, let me go all the way back to the top, even comments before I started the stream. Let me just give a shout out to people. Lord Foxtrot was weirdly feeling negative about the midfield, which is literally, I think, the least of my worries is the midfield. I think we've got the best. We already had the best midfield in Serie A, but now adding Zielinski on top of that has made it untouchable in Serie A anyway. So I completely disagree with him there. Kuro Black, hope you are well. We will talk about Federico Chiesa, of course. I've put him in the thumbnail. We'll get to that. Yeah, Balkan Warrior. We'll talk about Chiesa for sure. Mosavia, we'll talk about the feasibility of Chiesa as well. Kulin Bosna, hope you're doing well, brate. Rico 91, who's a little bit disappointed at the moment. Let me see how actually the poll is doing at the moment. So at the moment, the 7 out of 10 and 6 out of 10 are reigning supreme. If you add up those two, that's almost 80%. And then a few people on 5 out of 10, so 14% on 5 out of 10, and 14% of people on 8+ out of 10. So quite a mixture there of both. And there's a reason why I didn't even put the option for below 5 out of 10, because if you say it's below 5 out of 10, you are in cuckoo land, bro. Because we literally signed one of the best midfielders in the league for free from Napoli, Zielinski, and one of the best free agent strikers out there available from Porto in Meditarami. And we also addressed the backup goalkeeper situation. Okay, it's not an exciting Mercato, but that's actually, to the best squad in the league already. You're already solidifying, so it cannot be below that. And yeah, Julian, I hope you're doing well. I don't really see even the 5 out of 10s. I know maybe the issue is these days we've become so, we need that transfer. What do you call it? That hit, that almost is like a drug that you need in your bloodstream. That it needs to hit, that transfer window. That people start to get all itchy if the Fabrizio "here we go" is not announced for your team. It's like a whole big deal. You gotta get excited. You gotta create comps and videos about players. Whereas Taremi, we knew about it probably January, February. Zielinski was like March, April. Like, it's boring, isn't it? It's boring. And then the other big signing we've done is a backup goalkeeper. So even there, it's not even exciting. So I see it in that terms. It's not been exciting. but it has been functional. So I really don't agree with the moaning. And then also seeing other teams, Roma are very active, spending a lot of money. Napoli are active. Juve are very active. So I guess in that sense, we have some catching up to do. But the other teams are the ones that need to catch up to us. They're the ones we're behind. We're not the ones having to do catching up. So I disagree with some guys, but we'll get into it. I'll be on for at least an hour today. So and I'll if you want to jump on as well, in maybe in 10-15 minutes, I'll drop the link in. So if you want to jump on, get your setup ready to go, because I do want to get your people on video as well. If Mattia, of course, Mattia's always usually ready to go. If you want to jump on, Mattia, hope you're doing well. He is totally stress-free about Mercato, Mattia says, for the first time since 07. Wow, that's a long time. I don't really care about, since 99% of the team is ready, unlike our rivals. That's it, Mattia. This is a stress-free summer. Last season, it was a stress-free Serie A win. We pretty much, February, March, it was done. And this Mercato is the same, because there's not really much needed to do. Unless someone big leaves, which is always, a worry with Inter. There's really not that much to do. Yes, we can definitely need to improve the squad. We need like a few finishing touches. I definitely do not agree that this team is not moving correctly, or our ownership or our directors haven't moved correctly. Rico says important Mercato, Serie A, Inter strong. Yeah, Champions League is always another story, but then again, it's always depending on who we get, Rico. The luck of the draw of the pot. So it's a little bit different this year in Champions League. They've made it like almost like a league, because they've opened it up so much more. The group stages are almost like mini leagues, so you're gonna get to play harder teams pretty much regardless, it seems like. Whereas before, 3 other teams in your group, maybe one of them, or if you get the group of all 3 strong, but one may be really strong, and then 2 other beatable ones. But now you might have 5 decent ones, and then 2 or 3 strong ones. Like it's going to be different. Roger, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Chiesa stuff. Let me just get through the comments. I can't really trust. Yeah, I really don't like the fact that we're going into the season with, once again, Darmian and Dumfries as our starters. But once again, what can we do? I've got like oh no, he didn't save it. So annoying. Wait, let me see if I can. I created like the chosen 11 lineup. Oh well, I guess we can build it together later. We'll look at the full squad depth and who we need to sign to close out this Mercato. Armenian interest said we bring in Chiesa. That means we have to sell one more player as well, like Dumfries, that we use that money from Carboni. So again, we'll get into it. I'll get to that. Is TJ out for all season? No. So TJ is probably out for half the season. So Buchanan had a tibia break, if I remember correctly, and they estimated him to be out for about 4 to 5 months. So yeah, he probably is back in training by November or end of November, but or even October. But yeah, I don't think we'll probably see him till Christmas, maybe around Christmas time or even New Year's. It's not like he was already vital for Inzaghi. So even when he comes back, Inzaghi will probably really ease him in. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if once he comes back, he's moved on in the January transfer window. I think that injury, unfortunately, is the end of his Inter career. It might be. Mr. Alpha Bravo, how are you doing? And by the way, Mr. Alpha Bravo recently received his prize for winning the Serie A Fantasy League that we do every year. I gave him it was the Limone, the Limone Bowl mug for him. Alpha Bravo won it so easily. It was crazy. It wasn't even like it was like Inter. He won it so easy. By March, April, I think it was already. He was so clear of us by 300, 400 points. But keep a lookout. New Serie A Fantasy League. We'll do it again. Hopefully, we can give Mr. Alpha Bravo a bit more of a battle this time around. King Darian always making fun of me being late as usual, but yeah, like a Barbadian, eh? That seems to be a thing. Like I found that recently. I went to a wedding in Spain, and it was like a South Asian wedding. It was like a Indian side and Sri Lankan side or Tamil side, and they every side seems to claim this lateness thing. Is like the Indian side, oh, Indian timing, and the Tamils are like Tamil timing. Or if you go to Nigeria, they say this is Nigeria timing. It seems like every culture likes to claim that they're not very good with timing. I think it's just like the Europeans are the only ones that are kind of known to be on time, I guess. Palm says he voted 7 on the poll. We made the needed moves early, but now it's time to make some necessary moves, especially to cover the TJ. Since that's the gap, we've been too slow. Yeah, I agree with that. But there's also some reasons as to why we are slow there. Ahmad, I hope you're doing well. Hakan FC president in the house. It's been a while. Missed you guys as well. Been trolling Juve fans for the says, oh my god, if the Chiesa thing happens, guys, woo, we can have fun because those guys love Chiesa. Most of that fan base literally really, really loves Chiesa. Can we talk about Arnautovic? I really don't find him annoying as most of you guys do, Arnautovic. Like I really, really don't. I don't share this hatred for Arnautovic, but I don't know, bro. Daniel from Venezuela, hey, trying to distract. There's a lot of stuff going on in Venezuela, so thank you, Daniel, for tuning in. Stay safe, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, crazy stuff going on in the whole world. Like even here in the UK, usually there's nothing interesting that goes on here in the UK, but at the moment there's like whole civil war. It looks like it's kicking off here in the UK between, the Brits or like the far right Brits and like anyone of color. It's not really great times at the moment, but all around the world. But stay safe, Daniel. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, hit the like button as Mattia always reminds us. Wigan Churn Herlev says, "What's happened with Taremi?" Yeah, I mean, Taremi's injured, bro. So Taremi looks like he might be out at least for the first game of the season, or maybe he's comes back in time. So that is a slight injury, nothing serious, but it annoying because he might miss that first game of the season, and we need him because he's been really good in preseason. That's a good question, Zach. I still haven't decided. I do want to go, but I mentioned in my last video the other day when I was reviewing the Inter Pisa game, the tickets for Inter Chelsea are £40+. Now, normally that's not too bad. Like 40, that's pretty much a normal price. Any like decent games, you go San Siro, that's you're gonna pay at least 40 quid, 40 euros or 50 euros, 60 euros, even for the crappy seats or a good game. Inter Chelsea, that's a good game, but it's a preseason game. It's just, I feel like it's just a complete rip-off, and it's not going to be intense. There's not going to be intensity. Lautaro might be back for that game. Most of the team might be back for that game, but still, I do want to go, like, to see Inter. Who knows if I get to see? Last time I got to see Inter live was 2018 or 2019, so it's been a while, but maybe we'll see. And I've got like some plans as well that weekend, so if I can fit it in, but we'll see. I would like to, but it's the football these days. Like these clubs charge so much money. Like all these London ones, especially like Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham. Like Arsenal specifically as well. Their prices, I think they are known to have the highest average prices in the whole Premier League. It's crazy. They really rip off their fans, and it works because not even just local fans, it's people all around the world travel and they're willing to pay those prices. But I know that the Inter game isn't sold out yet, even though Stamford Bridge isn't that big. I think it's only just over 40,000. How big is Stamford Bridge? I know they had like some works done to it. Stamford Bridge capacity, yeah, just over 40,341. So yeah, well, let's see. Eduardito, ¿qué pasa, bro? Finally, Serie A is back. Yeah, was it like 2 weeks to the Serie A kickoff? Let's see, Serie A fixtures. We kick off, yeah, Saturday 17. So literally, yeah, just under 2 weeks now. very, very close to we kick off Serie A alongside Parma and Fiorentina. Not long left. Not long left. It's starting to get exciting. And I'm not even watching the Olympics football. I'm really taking like a nice break now. We've had a lot of football. So I've took like a nice break. I don't know about you guys. I've not really watched the Olympic football much. Maybe I watched the final, but I'm not really too interested in it. I don't know what it is about Olympic football. It just doesn't grab me. BLE got the later says we at least need 1 or 2 signings. We want to push further in Champions League, 100%. It's not our primary goal, but we should not be aiming to finish it in the round of 16 from now on. Yeah, 100% agreed. It was a failure last year. Mr. Lives as well, bro. Glad you're back. Yeah, I'm glad you're back too. Taremi injury, yeah, definitely. Maybe that Taremi injury kind of dampened the moods recently. One more striker, Basisa says, and he won't complain, and he will. Yeah, we're always ready to complain, but Basisa more than others. Good to see you, Shakir. Hope you're doing well. On a scale of 1 to 10, how annoyed are we that? Now that's annoying. The Satriano thing, because we've got. If you don't know, Satriano is we've got a move pretty much agreed with the Stade Brest grow up in France who were willing to buy him for like 6 million plus bonuses or 7 million, wherever it is. He was there on loan last year, did decently well, which is why they want to buy him again. And he's, from what I understand, he's not rejected them, but he's kind of like not convinced. Apparently, he's waiting for La Liga. He's Uruguayan, obviously Spanish speaking. Maybe also weather-wise and culture-wise, Spain is usually a pretty good fit for South Americans. Or maybe he thinks he deserves a bigger team, but very annoying. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10, because we need money coming in right now. That's the reason why our Mercato is stalling, guys. Our Mercato is stalled because we brought Jose Martinez. Whether you agree or not, I agree that, obviously we needed to get a second goalkeeper after Aldero loan ended. But you still have Jan Zoma. He's going to be number 1 regardless of who comes in anyway. Whether it was going to be Bento, the Brazilian dude as well. But you bought him. So clearly we had a little bit of money to play with. Usually it's, plus minus 0. But it looks like this year, because of all the financial performance and our good performances, we had a little bit more money to spend. And we had a bit more cash flow that we could put it up front for this goalkeeper. But that meant that now we've used that cash flow or that bit of money to play with for Martinez. And that means now we're trying to get the number 1 target for up front is Gudmundsson. It's not Chiesa. Chiesa is kind of this new rumors that at the moment the sources as well for these Chiesa rumors aren't particularly reliable. But we'll get into Chiesa. But the number 1 target is Albert Gudmundsson from Genoa, who is close, apparently, or Fiorentina are close to agreeing a deal with Genoa, not with Gudmundsson yet, but with Genoa. But we haven't got that money because we spent, as I said, on Martinez. Now we need to sell Satriano, Agume, Arnautovic or Correa. One of these guys, or few of these guys, really need to be moved on, and we need to get money in so we can put down money for Gudmundsson on that loan with obligation, which is the same move that Fiorentina are making for him, which is like 5 million for a loan, so an expensive loan that basically says, even if it's not an obligation, if you pay that much for a loan, it kind of forces you to buy him. So yeah, Satriano, bro, just move on. Is there any offers on the table for him? I doubt it. As I said, he didn't even do that great. He did okay at Stade Brest, but nothing that has excited the world of football to get offers in for him. So I hope he doesn't wait around long enough to annoy Brest and they just pull back from the offer. I hope he just understand that that's the best offer on the table for him. Let's see how it goes. Oh, speaking of, so we've mentioned Juve a couple of times already. Juve fan here, Darius says from G Just Juve. Shouts out to Beppe. If Chiesa doesn't find a club soon, which Juve is pushing him to, rumors of laying him off for 15, he might end up with you. Yes, Beppe. Now, the whole Chiesa thing, you know why it's so interesting? Giuntoli Giuntoli, the sporting director of Juve, who they signed from Napoli, is also an MF because he's been busting our balls ever since he's moved to Juve. He's been busting our balls ever since last season. Inter wanted Thiago Giallo even before. So Thiago Giallo from Lille, even before he had his ACL injury, serious ACL injury, Inter were interested in him as a potential long-term centre-back. Thiago Giallo gets a ACL. Inter remain interested, but with his expiring contract, Inter wanted to sign Thiago Giallo on a free. Then, lo and behold, and apparently there was also, pretty much an agreement as well with Thiago Giallo in terms of wages and whatever. Contract was pretty much all agreed. Then a few other clubs get interested. Lille prefer to sell in January. Then they start to put pressure on Inter. If you give us 3-4 million now in January, we'll sell him to you. And Inter were like, no, we're not going to sign him now. We don't need him now. We're going to sign him in the summer for free. Giuntoli sweeps in, pays the 3-4 million, whatever it was, steals him from right under our nose. I think he had one appearance for Juve in that 6 months after because, he still was recovering from that serious injury. And now the reports are with Thiago Giallo that he's not part of the plans, or Juve are not convinced about him, that he might be on the market already. So that one backfired on them potentially already. Then the other one from Giuntoli recently has been Juan Cabal from Hellas Verona. Inter wanted him, but Inter weren't willing to pay anything over 6 to 7 million. According to some reports, it never even came down to Inter making an official offer with Hellas Verona. Juve sweep in, pay almost double the price what Inter were willing to pay, so around 10 to 12 million, according to reports, get him. So that's another Giuntoli sweeping in, being a MF, stealing a target from Inter right under their nose. So now, I'm sure Marotta, you can tell Marotta, he's a very, politically smart character. He knows what to say and how to move around, but he's got those kind of Don, he's called Don Beppe Marotta for a reason. He's got this kind of mafia vibes, like, you do something to me, I will do something to you. He's got that petty bone in him. I can see it. And that's where I think this whole Federico Chiesa thing comes in as a kind of busting Juve's balls at the moment, because they originally, I think, wanted to, Chiesa wants to stay. He still wants to stay. Apparently, he doesn't agree with Juve's decision. But Juve have now, as of yesterday or the other day, Thiago Motta said Chiesa is out of the Juve project. Whether that's his decision, we're not actually sure. There were reports saying that Thiago Motta was never, even before Thiago Motta came in, that Chiesa is not really the type of player that Thiago Motta is looking forward to having at Juve. So it's probably a combination of Juve, like the leadership, Giuntoli, Motta, all deciding that he's not vital. His wages are too high. We don't want to renew him. Let's make the money now. But at the same time, I think it's also Inter trying to bust their balls, because he still is, even though they're trying to sell him, he's still, I would say, him and Vlahovic are the star players of Juve. I would say who are the big three players of Juve are Dusan Vlahovic, Bremer, and Chiesa. And I think in terms of fan favorites, I would probably say Chiesa is probably the fan favorite at Juventus ahead of Vlahovic, because I know Vlahovic is opinion splitting with most Juve fans, because he's not probably lived up to his price tag. And Chiesa is much more, especially this style of play, exciting. He's a lot more so as a move by Beppe Marotta, as a disturbance move already, it's already a fantastic way to get back at Giuntoli for the ball busting that he's done till now. What I want to discuss with you today is, where do you see Federico Chiesa fitting in this Inter team? We'll talk about whether the rumors, we'll get into that. But today, let's, the Mercato hasn't been that exciting, but let's at least have some interesting discussions with each other about, what do you think? Where do you see Chiesa fitting? If you see Chiesa fitting, which position? with Inzaghi? Do you think he'll fit in? Do you like him? What his mentality as a player? So let me know in the comments about your thoughts about Federico Chiesa. Whilst I get back into the comments to see what you guys are saying. Mr. Alpha Bravo, yeah, love to have you back with some content. Thank you, bro. Good to see you. Kuli Baba says he thinks Inzaghi can make Chiesa a lethal second striker to Lautaro or Thuram. Interesting. Ahmad says he's planning on attending the derby in September, but waiting for these bumps to confirm. Oh man, Serie A, they're always really slow. They'll keep you waiting. I mean, I think you can still kind of plan around in terms of the week. It's usually they don't confirm the day exactly, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday or which time. But usually, if you are trying to book like the flights and stuff, if you can try and book that week and then give yourself 1 or 2 days padding. So, just in case it's on a Sunday, get the flight back, on the Monday or Tuesday, just to give you that padding. So that's maybe one way around it. But yeah, Serie A very annoying in the way that they just leave it so late. Djokovic won goal today. Now they mentioned Olympics go. Yeah, Novak Djokovic, what a athlete, man. An all-time great athlete, not just tennis player. Good to have you, Shams, Victor. Good to have you. Victor, counting to the beginning of the season. Decent Mercato so far. No complaints. Good job recognizing the Nigerian time. Yeah, man. I've been to also some Nigerian parties, and yeah, the timing was... If I had to give that title, actually, I probably would give it to Nigerians, because yeah, that one party I attended for a Nigerian friend was like the actual people that needed to be there turned up like 3 hours later than what they said they were. We were just sat there. So if I had to give that title for the, lateness is greatness, is definitely probably Nigerians. What I've experienced till now, Indians, we are bad for sure, but Nigerians, my goodness, that was a different level. And I hear it can't even be worse than what I experienced. Eduardo says we definitely need another striker. We can't allow Correa to stay. Yeah, I mean, by the sounds of it, even they're willing to, if no one comes in for Correa by the end of the Mercato, they're probably going to rescind the contract and take a loss on the books, which is, I actually don't know whether that will happen now, especially in the oak tree, because they're much more, economically savvy and financially focused. So I don't even know if that's true, but that's what the reports were saying a few weeks ago, that if, nothing happens with Correa, they're willing to even cancel out the contract and just let him go, take a loss. Jumping in mid-3A, speaking of Nigerians, what's up, Tommy? Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you are doing well. Strom is clinging hard to Correa staying. I just know, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, we need him to stay so much for the barbecues and for the asado. I'm starting to think that maybe we could have waited to spend the kind. Yeah, definitely. That's my opinion, guys. That's my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with me or Palm. I'm not saying the management did wrong. Like, I'm still open on Jose Martinez. I haven't called him a flop. I haven't called him amazing signing. I haven't watched enough of him. I brought Julio on, on the scout report to tell us about him. I'm not fully convinced by him. I'll admit that. But I'm not going to be like poo-pooing the signing. And I think it's a signing that we probably will only be able to really tell whether it was worth it not even this season, next season. Because, yeah, this year is going to be the backup goalkeeper. But in my opinion, spending that money as the first signing, outside of the free signings, the first signing that you make so early on, was it really needed that we needed to get this second goalkeeper in? And then now we're kind of immobilized in the Mercato. That's where I disagree. I disagree with the timing of that signing with the goalkeeper. But we'll see. Again, Marotta, Ausilio, very, very seasoned pros in this game. We were complaining last year, if you guys remember, if you go back to my videos last year, around this time last year, after we wasted all that time on Lukaku, which most of us disagreed, is like, why the hell are you spending 30, 40 million to try to sign Lukaku? And then luckily that guy is the one who ruined it. Because don't forget, guys, we love our Inter, board, Marotta, Ausilio, great guys, Beppe the go, but they were about to do that if Lukaku wasn't an idiot and started doing what he did last year. Inter were going to Chelsea with money that in the end we ended up spending, thank the Lord, on Benji Pavard. But remember, last year we had a much more traumatic Mercato, and we had to wait until the last few weeks of of August to finally say, okay, now we signed Pavard, we got Thuram. Now we've got, Scudetto squad. Until then, I remember last year was really, really annoying summer. One of the most annoying summers, probably. And obviously, signing Arnautovic, etc. But in the end, it was really good. So let's give these guys time to work things out. Most of us, you can tolerate Arnautovic, Correa. Yeah, I think out of the two, it has to be definitely Correa. Arnautovic, I think he's only got one more year of a contract. So, and he's not. What are you really going to get for? Is anyone really going to buy Arnautovic? But you can say, as you could say, for example, Correa. But Correa cost us so much in wages and like amortization on the books. He is really vital to get rid of him. Really, really vital. Yeah, there you go. Palm says, Setti, who's the Hellas Verona CEO, president, he himself said that Inter didn't make a counter offer once Juve stepped in. So, yeah. So, let's get back to the Chiesa talk. Let me see what you guys are saying. So, Eduardo says he doesn't see him at Inter. He doesn't fit in a 3-5-2, and he's overrated. I have seen a lot of people do think Chiesa is overrated. Giovanni Mazza says, I don't think Chiesa fits into system during the 3-5-2 formation, and he is way better on the wing. I do find myself agreeing on both of these points. Rico91 says 50 mil plus his wages. I just don't see happening. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the feasibility in a moment, Rico. I want to hear people's thoughts on actually. Let's just forget about the feasibility or even how true the rumors are. Let's just have a conceptual conversation on Federico Chiesa Inter with Inzaghi. I want to see your thoughts on that. Palm says he's in that phase where he wants Chiesa because he's Chiesa, which, he definitely has that pull, that name Chiesa, because of that Euros, has that gravitas still, doesn't it? We know what he can do on his best day, but for me, post-ACL Chiesa hasn't been the same. Also, he comes across as one-dimensional. Spot on. Post-ACL Chiesa has not been the same. It's been, 2 years now, almost, that he's come back from that ACL and has not really looked the same at all. And the one-dimensional thing, I always thought that before, even pre-ACL Chiesa, so I agree with that. Who wouldn't want to have Chiesa? Balka Warrior says left striker drifts wide, but also would like to see him as a right wing back. Wing Chun says he doesn't fit. One of the reasons he was happy last season because he wasn't used as a winger. We don't have wingers. Do you see him as a defensive wing back? Maybe as a second striker. Interesting. Inter Milton, hey bro, hope you're doing well. Hoping for a second striker. Lacks the physical, but would add pace and dribbling. Mosab says Chiesa ideally plays in a 3-4-3. Yeah, in the front three with Thuram, Lautaro, but I cannot see him as a wing back. But is he better than Tiku? Wing Chun says no. So does he want to sign on as a squad player? Very good point. Leandro Canyu, Catherine Ralph Cook. So those are the two oak tree main people that are in Inter's board. By the way, you gotta get familiar with those names. They're the equivalent of Steven Zhang, Alejandro, and Catherine. But if you look at the pictures, I feel like Catherine's a little bit. She's the one that wears the trousers. You know what I mean? She's got that stern look in her face. I'll get back to afterwards, Carlos. Let me see on Chiesa. Yeah, but I mean, Martinez is a backup. I don't think they're looking to replace Zoma this season. They're looking to long-term future. I don't care if you. Oh, this is an interesting one. As an Inter, yeah. If you're an Inter fan who hates Juve, which is you're not an Inter fan if you don't hate Juve. You don't care if Chiesa fits in or not. You just want to take Chiesa to piss Juve off. I like that, Victor. That is one of the reasons why I'm warming up to this. I wasn't very keen on this initially, but that is, as an Interista, in the same way for Juve, let's say let's imagine, no, I'm not going to say Barella, Bastoni, or these guys, but let's just say, I don't know, Thuram. Let's say, oh, yeah, Kefren Thuram is signed because it's Thuram's brother, Lilian Thuram, the dad, Juventina, yeah, like they try to bring in Thuram, just even if it doesn't fit into their formation, just on that petty factor, it would be just amazing, isn't it? Taking the guy from Inter to bring him to Juve to piss off Inter. That's exactly the thing with Chiesa, but the difference is Chiesa is actually on sale, for sale, so it's an opportunity that's actually very, very realistic. Whereas if they try to sign Thuram, they would get laughed out of the building. Yeah, there he is, just proving my point. Late, showing up late to the stream. Oh god. Bigatelli said it was Destiny regarding the Mercato. I'm guessing you're talking about, like, you know, some of the stuff you've done for us, maybe. But says he doesn't believe Chiesa is overrated. He's interested to see how he fits in the 3-5-1-1, but it's a big financial risk. Narak says buying Chiesa means we're just helping them buy another winger, which is better. Oh, so you're saying that they won't be able to upgrade on Chiesa, so it's better to buy him, and they'll, the ones they're linked with right now are Adeyemi, Sancho, and Conceição. Those are the three wingers they're linked with, if I'm correct, at the moment. So, yeah, maybe you have a point that if they sell him, whoever they seem to be buying him to replace him with, and not necessarily upgrades, so it's good for Inter to get that. Then yes, says weekend with Chiesa, we can play 3-4-3 when necessary. Okay. Can we see Inzaghi change formation? Nope. You will never sell him to a rival. As soon as his price tag becomes public, the PL teams confirm. Whoa! Speaking on that, Hamdan, the price has been public for a while. At the beginning of the Mercato, it was already known that he is for sale. The reports were saying that Juve are willing to accept 25 to 30 million euros. I remember making a tweet about it a month ago, 2 months ago, that even then it's a 25, 30 million. I would like, that's still a really good price for Chiesa, even post ACL. And from what we understand in the reports, are saying that his agent, Fali Ramadani, has been trying to sell Chiesa, or not sell, but yeah, like, you know, propose Chiesa all around the Premier League, and apparently no one is biting. Post ACL Chiesa, I think people are scared of his injury history recently, because he's still been quite injury prone, even not ACL injuries, but he's been getting lots of lingering injuries after that. And yeah, like, let's see here the report by Repubblica, who again talking of the feasibility or the realisticness of this transfer. At the moment, I don't think there's actually been any solid links of, you know, multiple journal newspapers saying, you know, concrete offers or concrete. I'm sure, like, there's been talks that Inter have approached, or I think it's the agent has approached Inter potentially, for a free transfer, and I think Inter are open to that as a free transfer, not this season, next season. That's definitely on the books. If he doesn't renew and he doesn't get sold this summer, that's definitely on the books. Whether Inter would have money, again, we already don't have money, but if the Inter would have money to spend on him this summer, which is minimum, I mean, obviously, yeah, you would make Inter pay a premium for him, 15, 20 million plus his wages. That's already, as we know, probably not very realistic. And as I said, the links at the moment are kind of weak when it comes to that. So yeah, as it says here, we know about this. The Nerazzurri may wait until the free transfer, but actually this says may not even wait until the Italian is on a free transfer. And he's in a good age, 26-year-old. Current contract runs out in next June. Contract talks have stalled. With Chiesa out of plans for new Juve coach, the Turin Giants have been searching for a solution. Roma had shown interest. Yeah, there was very strong links to Roma at one stage, but then they actually went for the other Juve winger, Sule. Republican, a swap deal with Napoli for Raspadori is another idea Juve would consider. And then there's the interest from Inter. The Nerazzurri have been persistently linked with Chiesa due to the international's contract situation. Inter's propensity for a big name free transfer coup has meant for interest to seemingly focus on next summer, but La Repubblica says a move this summer cannot be ruled out. If, and obviously this is a massive if, Inter to sell fringe forwards like Correa, Satriano, they may have the cash on hand to make that Juve an offer they feel would have no option to accept. So, yeah, going back to Hamden, Premier League teams, I mean, I don't know why. If I was a Tottenham Spurs, I would have gone in for Chiesa, but it seems like not even like a Liverpool or a Chelsea, probably not Man United, but yeah, I'm kind of confused as to why on a cut price, because it is peanuts for Premier League clubs, 20 million. I am surprised no one is at the moment biting. And I'll give you my thoughts on this whole situation as well. I'm just trying to get through all the comments. I see Chiesa as a good opportunity. Shakira says we can revive him, easily make a profit. Israel has been informed for a long time. By Inter, every player knows what to do, which hasn't been the case for him. Love to see something to hurt, but loves to do something to hurt Juve, but 15 mil plus wages plus unhappy player. That's a very expensive way to get one up on them. That's very, very true. Rabi, yeah, 100%. We definitely need to move on from number 8 and 11. I think it means they'll get a better winger. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you can get those numbers with Allegri, then he's good. Okay, so my opinion on the Chiesa situation is I agree with a lot of you guys in terms of, as I said, I'm not very warm to the transfer outside of, being petty and just hurting Juve and getting, the fan favorite player. Where does he fit in? Does he fit in the 3-5-2? Because that's basically what Juve played last year, 3-5-2 under Allegri. And it didn't really work. But a 3-5-2 under Allegri is not a 3-5-2 under Inzaghi. So already you've got that to take into account. But I follow a lot of Juve content creators and journalists, and I know from what they've said that Chiesa just doesn't want to play as a striker. Maybe us as football fans and people that watch football can see that he has those characteristics. He can run in behind, he's got that pace, dribbling, finishing is decent as well. That in theory he should be able to be a pretty good second striker, really. Many wingers have converted themselves into strikers. But apparently he just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be central. He doesn't like being central. That's just not something he wants to do. Apparently he's thrown hissy fits. And that's one of the reasons why his relationship with Allegri declined. That's some of the reasons why he wasn't happy last year. So that's one reason. That's already... So if you bring him in, if you're seeing him as a second striker, then there's already work to do, not just on the pitch, on the training field, but first of all, convincing him that that's the right position for him. I know, obviously, we rate Inzaghi very highly in the work that he's done, but there's only so much he can do in terms of convincing, let's take Perisic on the Conte. Converting Perisic into a wing back. Conte tried to do it one year. Perisic said, no, I don't want to do it. And we had to send him out on loan to Bayern Munich. Then he came back. Then he, at the age of 30, said, okay, I'll convert to a wing back. So whether we want to convert him to either way, we have to convert Chiesa into something, because he's even though he's played there, he's not a second striker at the moment. He's played a right wing back as well. That's the other place where people see him. At Fiorentina, Beppe Iachini, in a 3-5-2, played Chiesa when he was still, up and coming, played him as a wing back. But again, that's probably not a position that he wants to play in, because he has to do a lot more defensive work. And again, I think there will be some work needed to be done to convince Chiesa to be a wing back. And again, Perisic is the perfect example. Perisic even more probably had always the characteristics of a wing back. Athletically, Perisic was always a monster going up and down the wing. It always just made sense. Chiesa also has pretty decent engine. He can run up and down as well, and he works hard. But you see him at the Euros. I never actually noticed this about him with Chiesa. He does have a bit of attitude. I don't know if it's something recent, but he does seem to strop a bit and complain at his teammates and stuff. So I'm not really too excited about this transfer if the rumors are true. And as you guys have mentioned, wages as well. Like this guy, we're talking about potentially, even let's say, the sources today said, Juve are willing to cut the price even more to 15 million now because they're really desperate to get rid of him off the books. But they're talking about, his current wages. What are his current wages? Like 4.5 million, 5 million. Let's have a quick look. So I'm not going to say that we're going to increase his salary. I mean, if we sign him on a free, we'll probably have to give him higher salaries. But if we sign him, we'd at least probably have to keep his salary the same as it is right now. So let's have a quick look. Chiesa, 5 million plus what? Plus, so you're talking about, this is Hakan territory. This is Hakan, Barella, not Lautaro territory anymore. But you're talking about top earners. Okay, even let's take out the bonus. Let's just say 5 million net. That's Bastoni territory. That's 10 million gross wages. And then let's say we sign him for 20 million on a 4-year contract. That's another, 4-year contract divided by 20. Quick maths. It's another 5 on top. So you're talking about 15 million yearly costs on Inter's books for a backup. So whether you're seeing him as a backup second striker, that's really expensive already. And then if you're seeing him as a starting right wing back, I mean, Dumfries is renewing his contract. So that's very expensive. We're not talking about Ashraf Hakimi. Hakimi was on this kind of, we signed Hakimi for 40 million and his wages were similar, That's Ashraf Hakimi territory. And then if you sign him, then you're thinking that this guy can be the best wing back in the world. And then, maybe Inzaghi could turn Chiesa into a world-class wing back. But is that realistic? Does he want to do that? I don't know. So I'm actually not particularly too keen on this move, to be honest, guys. It is exciting. It is obviously that Juve factor of doing just annoying Juve fans. It's great, but of course, as a name as well, Chiesa, has got a bit of gravitas still, and he's obviously an exciting player to have. And in terms of characteristics, we definitely need more pace and dribbling in the team. But again, with his injury history, with his unclear role, whether he's going to be a second striker or a wing back, both roles that he doesn't like, high wages, high transfer fee. For me at the moment, I'm not particularly convinced. As a free transfer next year, when he is, when he's 27, when he's 28, maybe he has another season where, disappointing season. And at that time, he says, okay, maybe the only way I can thrive, I just got to trust Inzaghi, convert into a wing back. That's the best for me. Maybe then I can see it definitely a lot more. The 3-4-3, I just don't see it. Like Inzaghi changing to a 3-4-3. I have not seen Inzaghi change formation at Inter, even less than Conte. I mean, Conte used to go to the 3-4-1-2 and 4-3-1-2 a lot more often when chasing games or even testing out formations. With Inzaghi, we have pretty much 99% of the time seen 3-5-2 at all times. Yes, a few times when chasing a game, he's brought on, Sanchez behind strikers and things like that, but very, very rarely. Maybe in some preseasons game, like I remember last year he was playing like a 3-4-2-1, or was even the year before, and people were getting excited, like, oh, Inzaghi's testing this because of Dybala, because of the Dybala rumors. He's going to be like Dybala, Lautaro, and Correa, or like something like, But in the competitive games, we know Inzaghi has not even slightly deviated from the 3-5-2. So people talking about him potentially looking towards a 3-4-3, I don't see it. I think we know Inzaghi well enough to know that that's not coming. But maybe, you never know. He could see that as the potential next step that this Inter team needs to take. Yeah, I mean, but if he's how much value. I don't think if you buy Chiesa is ready to sell him on afterwards again, because that was no one in Italy is going to buy him for more than that. So it would be the Premier League teams. But if we sign him, has 1 or 2 good seasons under us, okay, yeah, by the age of 28, that's probably good. But I don't really see him as a really economic deal to buy Chiesa to sell him on. Yeah, I don't really see that, Shakir. Bigotelli says, I believe Inzaghi can mold Chiesa like he did with Hakan. But I think that there's a difference with that, Bigotelli, as well, because from as far as we've heard, we haven't heard that Inzaghi is the one pushing. So the thing with Hakan, Inzaghi really wanted Hakan. Hakan was, as soon as the Ericsson thing happened, apparently Inzaghi, went to Ausilio, said, get me Hakan. He saw that potential to turn him into Luis Alberto. And then he probably didn't even see him, the potential to turn him into a Brozovic. But like he wanted Hakan, he saw that raw material with Hakan. Mkhitaryan the same. And Mkhitaryan was already, the thing is, he didn't convert Mkhitaryan into Mezzala. Mourinho already had converted Mkhitaryan into a deeper role. And then Tikus was already converted into a 4-2-3-1 sole striker at Mönchengladbach the season before. And we wanted him before Inzaghi, but then, yeah, according to the reports, Inzaghi was also all in for Tikus. We gotta, yeah, I haven't heard, let's go now, focus. I haven't heard much, come on, there you go. I haven't heard or read much about Inzaghi really pushing for Chiesa, but if he does, if he sees that he can mold him, or if he, makes that phone call, I know it's probably, we know in theory they're not allowed to talk or tap up players who are owned by the clubs, but I know it happens all the time. But if Inzaghi makes that phone call, and he's probably played with his dad at some point, Federico Chiesa's dad, Enrico Chiesa, was in that similar generation to Simone Inzaghi. He probably saw Chiesa as a kid. Probably the kids played together, went to the same school, a lot of these guys do. Maybe he's got that kind of connection there. But until I read more about that, Inzaghi is the one that, is looking. That's different, because if someone that this is like Marotta's just buying him to give to Inzaghi, that's different. But if Inzaghi sees something in him, then maybe, yeah. And the thing about, no, but again, Avinash, Thuram was already converted into a full-time sole striker at Mönchengladbach the season before. So it wasn't his first time when we came to Inter. And the thing is, Thuram, he's a different type. Like his body, he's got the body of a striker, Thuram. Like he's, the way Inzaghi, have you seen it? Even when it's like Sanchez or Correa playing, the two strikers need to be able to take the ball with like pressure from behind and like hold the ball. Even though if you're a little guy, we know that Inzaghi likes to play those balls into the strikers, first time, or those patterns of play, and then have those link up. Chiesa likes to play with his face to the goal. He wants to be going at players, running at players, ball at feet or ball in behind. It's a different type of second striker. Maybe Inzaghi can make it work as well, but he likes to just drift. He doesn't like being central, as I said. Like that's one of the reasons Allegri was also very frustrated with him. He always used to scream at Chiesa, stay central, go central, but Chiesa always wants to drift out to the side, whether it's the right or the left. He's very tactically undisciplined when it comes to that position. And someone like, we make fun of Allegri, but Allegri is still a good coach. And Allegri had him for 2 or 3 years, and he wasn't able to do anything with him. But yeah, Inzaghi has a very good track record of doing that with players. I agree. But it's a very expensive gamble. You remember that famous clip of Simone Glitch? Oh yeah, and he was like holding the ball and he's just looking. Yeah, that actually probably, that reminded me of yeah, as you said, the attitude part, but also the fact that Inzaghi probably thinks like, bro, I've seen nappies being changed on you, or maybe I've even changed your nappies, and you're like piping up to me. I know your dad, so shut the F up. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, I just gave you my thoughts, Dunya. Yeah, so essentially, it's, I think, I, in terms of the rumor, I don't think it's a right wing back rumor. I think it is, if it is true, the rumor, again, if it's true, which I'm still not quite convinced. I'm convinced about the rumor being for a free transfer for next season for sure, because that's just typical Beppe. But for it to be true about this summer, I'm not quite convinced yet in terms of the sources that we've seen, as I said. But the reason why I believe it's for the second striker role is because of Gudmundsson. So talking of Gudmundsson, Albert Gudmundsson from Genoa, he is that second striker in the mold of, an Alexis Sanchez, where he's, short guy, but technical, pace, dribbling, final ball, finishing. This year he scored a lot of goals. I think he's top scorer for Genoa. And apparently, going back to the point about Inzaghi wanting, from what I've understood, from what I've gathered, all the sources that I've read, Inzaghi, this, there was talks of, they even had a conversation with Xerxes' agent back in April and May to, just understand. But apparently Inzaghi was like, I don't want Xerxes, I don't want anyone else. Get me Albert Gudmundsson. Apparently that's the guy Inzaghi wants this summer. That's his number one target, Albert Gudmundsson. I don't know if you fell in love with him when he played against us, Gudmundsson, Genoa. He had a couple of decent games against us. Or he's just been watching a lot of Genoa. Gilardino is the coach there. He had a very good season, Genoa, last year, comfortably mid-table. But in terms of characteristics, and I agree that, if we need a Gudmundsson type player, definitely up front to be the backup to Ram, to replace Sanchez. But the reports on Gudmundsson are Fiorentina are pushing for him. Fiorentina have put down an offer of 5 million 5 million loan, and then potentially 20 in obligation to buy or option to buy. But because it's, once you pay 5 million on a loan, it kind of forces your hand to pay the obligation as well, because otherwise you just wasted a lot of money on that loan and the wages. And apparently that is pretty around about what Genoa want. They wanted 30 million, but probably 25 plus bonuses probably seals the deal. So they're quite close to potentially signing him. But we've talked to his agent. We've talked to Albert as well. Gudmundsson, obviously, between Fiorentina and Inter, he wants Inter. The reports are saying that he's willing to wait a little bit longer for Inter as well, to kind of muster up the money or muster up an offer to Genoa. But obviously, he's not going to wait forever. He wants to step up. Fiorentina is a step up from Genoa. Not a massive step up, but still a step up. We'll be playing in Europe, earning more money. And Fiorentina potentially going to get that money for selling Nico Gonzalez, which is the rumor. So that's the situation on Gudmundsson. And obviously, one of the other reasons holding the Gudmundsson deal up is the off-the-field drama. If you don't know, Gudmundsson has a case in Iceland. I want to be correct, because these legal things, you don't want to be liable. But he's got basically a sexual abuse case against him at the moment, which was cleared, but now it's also gone back to court. So he's still not over that, and it's quite rightly, I feel like Inter shouldn't be touching Gudmundsson until that is fully cleared, because that could be a big issue if things develop after that. So that's the thing with Gudmundsson. But at the same time, I know Inzaghi wants him, and obviously Ozilio Marotta clearly like him as well. But this comes back to, we talk about this thing on this channel with you guys quite often, like, is there no other players out in the world? Like, does there have to be a Serie A proven player? Like, isn't there some guy in Ligue 1 or Bundesliga with similar characteristics, with a bit of pace, with a bit of dribbling, that can be a bit maybe okay. Yeah, maybe he's not Serie A proven and ready to go. Gudmundsson is 27-year-old, so you're signing a guy that's like for them now and for the next 2 or 3 years. Sometimes it is frustrating with Inter when we just like seem to just be like Serie A, and also obviously sometimes Serie A clubs give you better terms on the deal as well. These creative loans with options that are secretly obligations that you can pay in 5 installments, which foreign clubs are not going to do. Foreign clubs are going to be like permanent fee, pay in like 2 or 3 installments max, and get lost otherwise. But sometimes like surely there's like some talented guys out there as well that are similar to Gudmundsson. So yeah, that's the situation basically on the second striker. Our midfield is packed, and Chiesa is not going to be our full striker. Yeah, but I mean, as something in the room, if the rumors are true about Chiesa this summer, then it has to be as a full striker. It won't be as a wing back because, yeah, that is clearly right an alternative if we don't sign Gudmundsson or whoever is the other targets. Unless we get Chiesa for free and we'll successfully convert him to striker like Thuram, I can't see this as a positive transfer. Yeah, as I said, as a free next year, then yeah, paying money and his salary, and you're not sure where he's going to really fit in. If he's going to fit in, it's a no for me. Hey, Uncle, hey from Toronto, totally disagree with his Chiesa. Even on the free, he says, I consider him an overhyped player who's past his best days, a one-trick pony on the pitch. Bad idea. I slightly disagree. I don't really see. I mean, is he really hyped that much these days? Like, I feel like he's not really hyped that much these days, apart from Juve fans, of course. But even for Italy, like we know that he's not the same player for the last 2 years, so I don't think he's that hyped. But maybe the name still. I know what you mean. The name Chiesa, you still think of that Euro 2020. And I do agree that he is a bit of a one-trick pony. Like, he's very head-down type of player, like head-down, pace, just kick the ball and run and, see what happens. But we don't have that type of player. That's one thing I'll say. We do need that type of player as well in this team. We need different characteristics in the team. But, yeah, on a free, I would take him easy V40, but I see what you mean. I do see what you mean. Yeah, as a right wing back, it could be cool as well. But again, I really struggle to see Chiesa committing to that. I really struggle to see that. Everybody knows Inzaghi wants Gudmundsson. It's another major target we miss out. Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it as well. Giuntoli. Yeah, we spoke about Giuntoli before. If you missed the easy before, he's been trying to annoy Beppe for a while since he moved to Juve. But that is actually when you look at it like that, making sure Inter don't get Gudmundsson and then they get Gonzalez. That is a very good move if that happens. Let's see. What happens if Juve don't play Chiesa over? Yeah, then I want him even more because then you can even negotiate a lower salary for Chiesa because that means that then he has no real negotiation or leverage because you're not coming to us as a marquee player. You're coming to us as a guy who's been struggling to play. So yeah, at 27 on a free transfer, I'd still take him, and then we can see where he works in. What's the deal? Yeah, again, it's not finalized yet, the court case, Bobby Marley, but it's ongoing. Yeah, it's an older sexual assault case that's resurfaced, but so he was cleared of it originally, but it's kind of like been brought back to court. I haven't read into it, so I'm not even gonna go into that. And I don't even know that whether it's a prison sentence or a civil case, so no idea. Spawn thing, why is there no money? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the last year was like Lukaku or nothing. Like it's just like we have to get Lukaku. Until that guy was an idiot, it seemed like everything was just Lukaku. It's like no, there's like 50 other million strikers in the world. Like come on, there's so many players out there. It's not just Lukaku. And the Bremer thing, a couple of years back as well, it was Bremer or nothing. And then we lost Skriniar on a free. We lost Dybala. We lost Bremer. It was just like sometimes we really just seem like we hone in on these like Serie A profiles, and it's like we cannot have anything outside of this. And in the end, as Pavard proved, like there's guys out there from other leagues as well that you can get. But maybe the oak tree thing, they're talking about different strategy now with oak tree. Maybe that does change. But let's talk quickly. Oh my God, we've been out here for 1 hour and 6 minutes. That's crazy. That is crazy. I was supposed to bring you guys on to like talk about stuff. This is crazy. I apologize, actually. This is the thing with live streams, man. It's so enjoyable. I can talk to you guys, and it feels like I was talking for like 20 minutes, but actually it's been half an hour. That's crazy. But yeah, a few weeks ago on Twitter, I put this Excel sheet up for you guys to also help me update, just to show you guys you don't need to comment on every single link that you see on social media and get excited about it, because look at the amount of players that we've been linked with. It's absolutely crazy. Like, the hints also give the one thing I'll give the list, though, it gives you a hint of what actually Inter are looking for. So the fact that we've been linked with so many centre backs or defenders shows you that Inter want that left centre back position, and you can see that here with the amount of centre backs we were linked to. And then the striker thing, maybe I should have added a column to show like who the source was, because a lot of these I haven't even seen the links. Like I did not see the Choupo-Moting link or the Ferran Torres link or the Luke Bacchio. Luke Bacchio was like a few Mercatos ago. I haven't seen it this summer. But it just shows you the sheer amount of like links that newspapers and media puts out there, and it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. No, it's not the Excel, it's not the budget sheet, but it might come back. But it's not the budget sheet, Mattia. What's the most ridiculous link from this list? Probably Job Bellingham. What the hell? I didn't even see that one. That's ridiculous because of how random it is. It's a guy, from Championship, Jude Bellingham's brother. That's random as hell. Bruno Fernandes, that's random. Rabiot one as well. Like, this guy wants like 7-8 million net. Like, literally, our midfield is stacked as hell. So I don't really get that link as well. So yeah, all of these, basically all the midfield ones, even the Testament one was like, it was interesting. I did like the link to Testament because it was so cheap, and the idea of just loaning him out and probably just making some money off him, but definitely not a need that we had. So all these midfield ones, to be honest, are ridiculous because our midfield is ridiculous and we do not need midfielders. I missed you guys as well. It was there. It just shows, like, as they say, when you're having fun, time just flies. So it is really enjoyable talking to you guys. I don't see a single right wing back that is on Dumfries level. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing we always talked about, is like, a lot of us don't really rate Dumfries that highly. Like, I'm one of those guys that technically I just dislike Dumfries a lot, but as a player or as mentality, physicality, defensively, like, I cannot doubt Dumfries. I don't lose sleep at night. The fact that he's renewing, I just would have preferred, if there was, and again, maybe there wasn't no offers on the table, but if there was possible to get 20-25 million for Dumfries, that would have been my move. And I think a lot of these guys would have been okay to cover for Dumfries. But my problem even for Dumfries, my problem is Darmian. The fact that we are going into another starting 11 in the season, starting 11, and potentially our starter is going to be Matty Doms. That's what annoys me mainly. Not even Dumfries. It's just Darmian. As much as we love Matty Doms, he just offers nothing as an attacking wing back. But yeah, actually, let's fill out this, because I wanted to do this with you guys just to show you how we're looking in terms of depth this season. So obviously, start up front. Don't puke, Palm. I know you want to puke, but Arnautovic there, Lautaro, and Aremi. And then obviously we have Dimash and Augusto here. Here we have Miki and Zielinski. I mean, this midfield is crazy, man. Hakan and Aslani. Here we have Barella and Frattesi. And here, I'm going to put Dumfries as starter because I still see Dumfries as a starter, but we saw last year for the second half of the season, it was Darmian, but I'm just going to put Dumfries in there. So now here is the problem position, and I'm saying problem in quotes because I don't think it's a problem position at all. But maybe numerically they see it as that. So Acerbi, I still see Acerbi as a starter. We'll see how that works out, but let's put Acerbi as a starter, De Vrij as the backup. Again, this is the position. If it was me in charge, ahead of the backup goalkeeper, I would have focused on this. I would have focused on centre-back, central centre-back, right wing-back, and second striker. Those are the three positions I would have focused on ahead of goalkeeper and left centre-back, which they seem to focus on. And obviously here we got Benji and Bisek. So obviously Zoma, Jose Martinez. So you see numerically they see, because they want to have, it's a long season, the longest season ever. This is going to be with the most amount of games ever. They want to have 2 players per position, and they see that this is a gap. But in reality, it isn't. It isn't a gap because we know that Bisek can play here, and I want him to play there. But we know that also Darmian can play there, and we know that Augusto can play there. So in reality, yes, numerically, there's not a assigned left centre back backup to Bastoni, but in reality, we know that many guys can play that position. And we know that sometimes Inzaghi plays Acerbi there as well. And obviously, we know here that we also got TJ. Obviously, he's not going to be part of the team till probably December. But we got Buchanan as well, because Inzaghi clearly didn't see him as a right wing back. So, bro, I know you're one of the first ones to say that as well, that Darmian should be the starter. And yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Darmian should be permanently as a right centre back and only a right wing back in emergencies, or those big games where done in the past, like you want to man Mark Leao or Kvara, and you want to put Darmian there. We know he's a guarantee for that. But outside of that, I really do not see the need for this left centre back position because we have so many guys, and as I said, Pavard's gonna be the starter right centre back. So I want to see Bisek. I want Bisek to be the left centre back backup. I want him to get, whenever Pavard needs a rest, get minutes right centre back, and then when Bastoni needs a rest, get minutes at left centre back, because he can do that. And then, as we said, Darmian and Augusto can do that. So I really, really don't see the such a big focus for this position. But again, if it's what Inzaghi is asked for, he sees there's going to be so many games played. He wants that. Kamate is not going to stay, bro. Kamate again. He's a winger. So for the Primavera, Primavera play a different formation to us. He's been playing. I think he was the top scorer for Primavera last year. He likes to cut in on his left foot. He's been doing an okay job in this summer, because we've had no Dumfries. And Darmian came back late. So he's been having to, as a youngster, again, he could maybe end up becoming a wing-back. But at the moment, the teams that are interested in him, they're not interested in him to loan him as a wing-back. They want him because of what he showed as a winger, attacking winger, creative winger. He's got good dribbling, good pace, lovely left foot. He scored some really nice goals cutting in. There is no point keeping Kamate. Like, where is he going to play Uche? Like, again, even if he was converted into wing back, that is just a waste. I always say, why would you keep youngsters like that on the bench? It's just a complete waste. Young players need to play. Pom says, now we haven't made their mind up, feel like Bisek has to play CCB more. Yeah, that's another thing. Again, experiment with Bisek as CCB. I don't personally see him as much there because I feel like that's more of a positional. Like he would be so wasted there. Like Bisek is so good going forward. We've seen him. Like he's like powerful, athletic, good on the ball, good dribbling, good eye for a pass as well. Likes to get up and down. Like I think he would be completely wasted as a CCB. But if we don't sign anyone, why not also test him out there? Maybe that's a long-term solution of one, Cherby gets too old or the Vrij contract expires next year as well. That's a potential experiment to do. But in reality, I would have liked us to. But again, it depends if those rumors on the Vrij Saudi Arabia offer were true. I think that would have been really ideal. Selling the Vrij even for like 5 million if you sold the Vrij to Saudi Arabia. And the Vrij earns quite a lot as well. I think it's like 3.2, 3.5 million net. That would have been a nice space made for a potential centre-back, long-term centre-back to have there. But again, they spend the money on the goalkeeper there, so that probably was unrealistic as well. But yeah, it seems like they're not going to go touch this area, which I feel like should be. It should be. Like, Inter, we need to look. You can't say, wait for Cherby's decline to come and then we like, oh, now we need to sign a centre back. We should be getting. We already saw little signs of a Cherby's decline coming because it's natural. The Vrij started declining like 2 years ago. We should be making that move early to get that long-term centre back there. But again, with limited resources, they have to make decisions, and it seems like they've decided on, goalkeeper was the backup goalkeeper or long-term goalkeeper was their priority. So we'll see how they work around it. What's up, Lord Uxas? I'm still waiting for your backdrop. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's like some of the stuff that I had is like, it's right there. I just need to like nail it in or like drill the walls. But yeah, for the new season, you'll see our new backdrop and stuff like that. Don't worry. 100% working on it. I don't think Kamata. Yeah, I agree. Preseason, they're like even I've seen people say Fontana Rosa should be kept. Like it's preseason, guys. Like remember last year, Stefano Sensi was our best player last season in preseason. It was Esposito. Remember that one season where Esposito was there? He was good in preseason. It's like it's preseason. Like you cannot make judgments. Like if you looked at preseason. As well, like Lautaro's hardly ever good in preseason. Zielinski looks like he's not even good right now in preseason. Like it's preseason. These guys are just playing because numerically, Fontana Rosa couldn't even get a game in Serie B last year. Like you gotta have like at least something to back up your performances. Yes, like I did say the other was it Las Palmas, he was pretty decent, but. It's like almost like a different sport preseasons. The teams play with like very little intensity. It's not comparable at all. No, not pay. If Wan-Bissaka was free, then we pay because they also got Premier League wages as well. But yeah, defensively he's amazing. Wan-Bissaka defensively is like a beast, but so clunky on the ball. Having Wan-Bissaka and Dumfries together, that would be like my nightmare. It's like just technically watching those two trying to control a football is an absolute nightmare. Which club is having best transfer window so far? I mean, Roma's is interesting, but I still don't really like, Dovbyk, Lefer, the link with Bellanova, the Sansule. Like it's an interesting one or exciting. Like I want to watch Roma with that, but it doesn't. And it might push them to top 4. But I still think, I still think what Inter have done till now is very good, very smart. Yes, it's not exciting, but getting Taremi for free, Zielinski for free, and Josep Martinez is covering those gaps that the team needed, addressing needs in the team for a very low price. So cost to price rate or cost to name ratio, I still think what Inter have done is really, really good in my opinion. Really, really good. Actually, let me see how the poll has ended now. So majority of you have decided that this transfer window until now is a 7 out of 10. And I agree with you in terms of maybe, this is right now, but before the end of the transfer window, we definitely need to do more. But at the moment, I still like what Inter have done until now. It's smart, calculated, but there's room for improvement, 100%. Oh, yeah. A very good point. Thuram last year had an awful preseason. Guys, remember, this guy, 0 goals, panicking in front of goal. He could barely shoot on goal. He looked like he was falling over himself half the time. And then, as soon as, game day 1 was, it's like a completely different monster. So preseason is like, that's why I always really, really hardly ever take into account. Even if you have a shitty preseason, I barely ever take too much into consideration. And at the moment, going back to Carlos' question, it was like ages ago. I still see us as favorite at the moment. And actually, Milan's squad are still they finished second last year. Let's not forget. And I like Fonseca. I don't know if he's actually a big upgrade on Pioli, but I do like Fonseca. So I still see Milan second. And I see Napoli returning to top 4 if they do what Conte wants them to do. By the way, I don't know if you've seen, but Conte yesterday, already drama's kicking off. So they lost to Girona yesterday, 2-0. He did not do a post-match press conference. He didn't do it, which you already know. Whenever Conte doesn't do a press conference, there's a good reason. So the reason was that he's already apparently threatening to resign if in the next week or so, or the reports at 48 hours, they don't sign him. I think it was a winger, a midfielder, and a wing back. He wants 3 players in the next few days, or he's going to resign. Conte. But if they do get what he wants, he's definitely going to make them top 4 for sure. Juve, they still got so much to do. They are moving players out so much, but also moving in so much. So there's still a very big work in progress, and they have to wait and see how things work out. Did you see? No, I did not see this. I did not see it. I need to watch this, but I need to keep that guy happy. We know what it is with Conte. Cancelo on loan would be amazing. Yeah, of course, Cancelo would be amazing, but that guy's wages are stratospheric, unfortunately. Very, very unlikely. But guys, 1 hour, 24 minutes. Wow, that is crazy. I really felt like I was talking for only half an hour max, and we've been there for so long. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really, really appreciate you guys. I can see the channel memberships have decreased a lot because obviously I have not done as much content, so I don't deserve it. So I understand completely, but I do appreciate guys that have kept their channel memberships going, because it does help continuing the channel and supporting the channel. So I do appreciate that. But regardless of that, appreciate you all. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and what's the plan for the next few days, for next week or so? So I'm going to keep on top of this Excel sheet to show links and stuff. So let's see what happens with the left center back position. Let's see what happens with the forward position. Let's see, fingers crossed, what happens with Arnautovic, Satriano, Correa. But I'll always keep you guys updated. I won't be able to watch the Al Ittihad game, but I'll try to do a match reaction to that. So keep a lookout on the channel. And I'll definitely want the next time I do a live. I know I said it this time, but next time I'll do a live call-in show, from the beginning. It will just be about bringing you guys in and having your say as well on the channel. Didn't manage to do it this time around, but appreciate you. Great to see you guys. Great to see you, Mattia, and everyone, all the channel members, channel admins, and friends of the channel. Really, really good to see you guys. Keep yourself safe in this crazy world, and of course, keep supporting Internazionale. Ciao ragazzi, forza Inter sempre!